Let's talk about facts.
If you want to have intellectual discussions.
Spiritually oriented, a beautiful family.
Who you are beyond the personality.
I'm a human being, same as you.
Be who you are.
But to answer your question,
what is really going on?
And let's get into this.
And what is happening in Wirgo Warriors? Welcome to the wonderful world of Wirgo, the place where we get asked what is really going on. Now, before we get into the video, guys, if there's any chances you can smash that, subscribe, like, share, all that, stuff, notifications, I don't even know what goes on down there. But more importantly for me is that you either join our Facebook group, Wirgo, and communicate with me there, or possibly leave a comment. I really need those because this is a learning experience. Now, for those who don't know, I'm diagnosed as having autism, for whatever that means to you. And in this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to cover certain areas. Now, in this particular episode, I'm going to be talking about what I see sin as. So the title, What is Sin? That's what I'm hoping to cover here. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is my perception of what sin is and what it means to me. And if anybody has different perceptions of it, I would love to talk about this and get to the bottom of it. Now, so hopefully just a short one. I'm trying to make a few short episodes in where we can discuss certain things. So, sin. Now, often sin is seen as something that is negative, evil, wrong. Now, I believe in negative, as in I use negative, accept the negative world. But evil, bad, that kind of thing, I don't use those terms and I don't agree with them. Right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to bring up the definition of sin as far as like Google, the dictionary as we know it, brought up. It's not necessarily what I go by. It says, an immoral act considered to be a transgression against divine law. Obviously, we'd have to look into what really divine law is. So, right, and commit a sin. I sinned and brought shame down on us. First of all, shame is a narcissistical weapon. You should never use it. Shame itself is a sin to me. I'll explain this. A sin in the eyes of God, the human capacity for sin. None of these things really explain what sin is to me. It's like it's indoctrination is saying, right, and this is what sin is. Remember it. It doesn't say like this is how you can work out what a sin is or anything like that. Let's have a look at Merriam-Webster. Let's see what this says. It says sin, noun, sin synonyms, an offense against religious or moral law, an action that is always felt to be highly reprehensible. I have the phlegmic fear. It's a sin to waste food, for example. Now, I get these terminologies, and I really do. I'll explain sin to you what I see sin as. Right? Sin, to me, means allowing the outside reality to have an effect on the internal reality of who you are. Break it down. That does sound a little bit, what? I get it. I hear the same thing. So, up until a certain age, you really can't think. It doesn't matter what you believe happens. You can't think. You have thoughts, and you have intuition, you have instinct, and this is how most children in our work. But why they say all children are sinners is simply this. Children that get affected by the external world, they need to. It's how they learn things. That's why you need to be able to sin. Sinning is a learning tool, and children up until the age of 7, it's perfectly okay for them to sin. In fact, you wouldn't really call it a sin, but it's the same thing. After 7, you have a mind of your own, and you're supposed to use it. Of course, if you accept good and evil, that mind will die. A perception, should we say, a perception. That perception will die. In the sense of, not like the physical body would die. It will go to sleep. That's what we call it an awakening when you finally wake that perception up. That perception is called Adam, or Atum, or, there's many names for it. Which leaves you with what we refer to as a cardinal mind. The cardinal mind are the lower two minds, yeah? And they'll unite to make one mind, a double mind, yeah? Jesus would say, beware the double-minded. So I refer to as a dual mind, or a Jew mind, not Jewish people or Jewish faith. I have all the love for Jewish people and Jewish faith. I think they look from a Jew perception, which majority of the world do. Nothing to do with religion or peoples. And it's all to do with perception. And I'll argue, I'll die on that hill. I will die on that hill to fight for what I believe in. I'm a warrior. I can be persuaded quite easily. If you show me, go, there you go, Carl, here's the mathematical, this is why you're incorrect, and I'll go, oh, right, I can see that, I understand that. I never accept that's correct or incorrect, because I believe always that I can be incorrect about anything. You can go, hey, Thuthi, with me money, and I'll be like, is my name Thuthi? Do I owe money? What's going on here? I'll ask questions to get to the bottom of things, because I do not allow the external world, well, this is not entirely true. This is how I want to be. So I'm pushing a placebo here, because I've gone through my entire life as a slave, like most people, to this reality. And by slave, I mean that I allow the external world to have an effect, allow the effect of the external world to cause something within me. Cause and effect is a law. But if you allow the external world to have an effect on the internal world, this what we call things like deadly sins and good and evil, they all do the same thing. You allow that to affect you on the inside, you'll get angry, you'll get emotional, you'll do irrational things. You have a responsibility to take in everything. Of course, you will. But you don't have to act like a child and react to it instantaneously. You can think on it. You can get to the bottom of things. All things are neutral. All things have a middle ground, which you can go there and you can talk and you can reason and understand things. We don't live in that world anymore, do we? People don't like to reason with things. They just like to go, no, you called me up and I need to... It's like, what? Why? Why can't you think, well, why did they call you this? Why do you need to act that way? Is there a better way? There are many people say these kind of things, blossom from within. Understand that there's a reason for everything. There's cause and effect. It's obviously working because it's having the effect of whatever's happening is causing something in you. And then because that effect, you will cause something else. And this is sinning. It's acting like a child, not being able to grow up. It's like not something, you'll smell something. Gotta eat that. You'll taste something and go, oh, gotta have more of that. You'll be attracted to something like a pretty lady goes by and you're like, oh, yeah, baby. Or, I'm giving examples here. This doesn't mean everybody. Everybody has their vices. Everybody has their demons, including me. I'm not innocent. I sin like the rest of you. But I still know what it is. I'm trying to better myself. I thought I'd clear that up because I made it sound like I'm without sin. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. That wouldn't be me. I would not be casting any first stones. But I am trying to better myself, to grow up and become an adult. I don't believe adulthood has anything to do with age. Another video. Right, guys, I'm not going to go too far into it. I want to hear what your questions are. What it is, I'm trying to get to a better place of understanding what sin is. I believe it to be something, and I think it was put there for a reason. Man, know thyself. This is what I am trying to do. I lived 33 years without knowing a thing about me. And at 33, only then I started to wake up a little bit. Something happened. I started asking, it was like a new voice started appearing inside me, and it was really strange. And then up until 38, I battled with it to and fro and tried to learn again. When I was 38, it really had a negative effect on me, but I think that had something to do with the external world putting things in place, and I just couldn't cope with it anymore. But now at the age of 42, I have a new voice again that's helping me again see things. But this time it's much more stronger, and that's why I'm doing the show. I started at 42 and I'm going to keep going. And I'm never giving up on this show. I'm going to keep doing these kind of things. Guys, this is my interpretation of sin as this present moment in time. I do want to work on it. So if you have questions, fire them at me. If you have alternate perceptions of it, fire them at me. I want to learn. This is how we get to the objective truth of everything, is by finding everybody's thoughts and then putting them together, and you treating them like a puzzle and trying to see the answer. What is the answer? The answer is always a question, by the way. That's the law of cause and effect. Every answer is a question, and every question is an answer. They're both the same thing. You just got to understand how to steer them correctly. All right, enough of that. W.I.R.G.O Warriors, thank you for listening, and as always,